Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Camgoat Show right here in Phoenix, Arizona. I'm your host, Isaac Joel, and I'm your local filmmaker, director, photographer, kind of an actor, a little bit of a model, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. You know, I'm not going to sit here and brag. I'm so excited to be introducing to you guys the next phase, the next evolution that is Isaac Joel. That is where we're going now. You may have known me in the past as Opus Vita. You have known me from the past as Imaginary Films. You have probably followed my career for a very long period of time, or you're probably just a new listener, new audience member, someone that just came along. And that's okay, because this is for both of those audience members. This is for the dedicated fans that have stuck by my side, that have supported me every step of the way. This show, this revamp, this reimagination is for you. What is a camgoat? You're probably asking yourself right now. What is the story of this camgoat thing, Isaac? Where did the hell did this come from? And I'm gonna tell you right now, for years now, probably since I started, since I went full time when I was about like 18, 19 years old, I have been called the camgoat. And this is just like something that my clients, my close friends, from time to time would call me. Not all the time, but from time to time. And every time they called me it, I kind of shied away, was a little, because it kind of put me, what I felt like, at a pedestal that I could never ever like achieve and be above. I didn't want to kind of sell myself as this strong person. And now I am in this phase, this new point in my life where I am ready for that, to take that on. And so we got the merchandise, we got the logos, we got the clothes, and this show is going to be this new format where we are able to not only discuss my favorite things, which is movies, reviews, things that we got coming up, trailer breakdowns, but we're also going to be educating you on how you are a camgoat, how everybody is a camgoat. This isn't me. This is everybody. This is something that we all can embody and embrace and take upon. And so, with that being said, I want to introduce you guys to the man, the myth, the legend, the mind behind this amazing logo that I bugged so hard to get out. We went through many different designs, many different iterations of it, and we came down and it boiled down to this. I am introducing my producer, the man who's been here forever, Ruben Rapalda.
Yo. How we doing? We're
doing excellent, man. We're doing excellent.
It's good to finally be on camera, finally be a part of this officially, I love the stuff we did in the past. I love, all the phases. You kind of have like your own phases, kind of like Marvel, phase 1, phase 2. And yeah, man, this idea that you've built. So you told me, I remember the story how Camgoat came to be and everything, and it's just all very inspiring, And I'm happy that I was able to give out the hand to design all this stuff, and really give you a symbol for everything you do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. This is we took a little bit of a hiatus. We've been gone for a while. I want to say like all year practically.
It's almost a year, I would say.
But we have been doing so much. We have been working on so much. We have so much to dive into, so much to discuss, and we're going to break all that down on the show, so stay tuned for it all. But we're gonna get right into it. I'm joined by my guest, Abigail Duran, loves to go by just Abby.
Hi.
Hi. Nice to have you on.
My final word for that.
Abby is my partner in crime. Give me a little bit of some. Give me a little bit of some of that. There you go. This is my lady, my partner in crime. She's been in the shadows, kind of creeping on all of my projects. She's seen everything from the beginning, the birth of it, to the final product of it.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you say?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I stick in the shadows and I help where you need me to. So it's pretty cool to see everything.
You've seen a lot of good. You've seen a lot of bad.
Yeah.
We've been put through some real crazy tough situations together.
Definitely.
Okay, so we're gonna get right into it. What we've been doing for the last couple of months, it's been tough since COVID, right? To go to the movies, everything was put on the back burner. Everything was put straight through streaming. So it was kind of weird to continue to do a podcast during this time. I was still following the news and the media and everything that was going on, but for me, it was just weird to kind of be reporting when there was nothing to report, nothing to really go into. But now we're finally getting back into everything. We had a chance to see Marvel's Eternals, this past day. When was it? Wednesday
night.
We saw it on Wednesday, right? Yeah. We had to wait in line for it. It was a fan screening, right? Yeah, we typically go to these press screenings where there's kind of two separate lines, where you're kind of put on the waiting list, and then there's the VIP list. The VIP list is like the press, the people that are actually the press, that actually report and review the stuff, and they put their stuff out there. And then the waiting list is just like, people and fans that have gotten these tickets and that need to like wait in line. And so we get these tickets for a lot of movies. We've seen a lot of stuff, and we've even we've waited in line and not seen stuff, and we're like, dang, we got here a little bit too late. What was that? Candyman. We missed.
We just missed it.
Yeah. We were like right there. Yeah, we were like, they had 2 seats left, and they gave it to the people in front of us.
Yeah.
So, but we saw Eternals the other night, and this is Marvel's lowest rating score ever. What is Thor: The Dark World sitting at, Ruben?
I believe it was like a 60. Let me double check here.
Like a 65, 60 something percent.
66. Okay.
66%. That's what a C. That's a D. Or is that a D?
Yeah,
I didn't pay attention in school. That's a D.
Yeah.
So that's not passing. That's not even a passing grade, really, huh?
I mean, F is not passing.
Yeah, but you don't want to.
Made it.
Oh, I see, like 65 is passing. Well, at least for me, that's what it was. And that's how I.
Okay.
That's how I made it.
Okay.
Out.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
which I think is fair for Thor: The Dark World.
I hate Thor: The Dark World. I hate that movie with every being in me. Yeah. Okay, and also I didn't like Shang-Chi. We'll get into that a little bit too, into the comparisons. But we're talking right now Eternals and how this movie just really didn't get any good reviews right off the bat. Well, let me correct that. It got really strong stuff at first. When they had the red carpet premiere, everyone was coming out saying amazing things about it. That it's probably Marvel's most different ambitious project. And then the score came out not too long after that, and then that's when it was like the math wasn't adding up.
Yeah,
it wasn't adding up, and this is different than compared to what we've heard in the past before. What is some of that stuff? What are you reading right there, man?
I think most of for what I'm seeing is just the length of the movie and how it's structured, how a lot of the runtime of the movie is dedicated to these characters and their development. Mm-hmm. And even with all that time, they just didn't feel like it was enough to engage with these characters.
Yeah.
And the plot itself, with we'll get into it, with spoilers and stuff, but
let's give our first thoughts. Let's get right in. Let's give our first thoughts. Abby, I want to hear what you thought right when we saw it.
Well, I told you I'm not really a buff, or I haven't really watched these movies, so I don't really know. But like you said, trying to think of the words. Just, it was a good movie. It wasn't like the worst movie ever. But I like the action scenes. They're pretty cool. The antagonist. Yeah, he was really cool too. So.
Ruben.
Switch cameras here. I thought in general, I thought it was a pretty solid movie. Obviously, you know, I did feel like it was, you know, a little long, but in general, I don't see what people are on about. How, like, you know, it didn't really feel that different to an MCU movie to me. I feel like it had, you know, the structure of an MCU movie, had like the little comedy, you know, we see here and there.
Yeah.
It just felt like a for me, like an MCU movie. I don't see much of the stuff they did different. I thought the plot was fine. I thought like the twists were fine. Some people were saying that it was very predictable. I don't know. For me, at least, I'm not a reader of like internal comics, but for me, the twists that were in this movie, how the team kind of shifts around, I wasn't expecting. I guess, of course, maybe the ending, maybe they could have said was predictable, but you know, of course, you know, it is the first one. You know, they're not gonna do everything. You know. But yeah, overall, I think it was a solid. I would not, you know, it's at like a 50% right now. I would not put it anywhere near that, you know.
I was pretty anxious to see this because of its runtime, it being an origin story, we not knowing absolutely anything about this comic book, these characters. I don't know anything about them. Marvel's really digging at like the bottom of the barrel here, you know, to really show us what they have now. I agree. This movie kind of really surprised me. I do think, yes, maybe the first act started off a little bit slow, but it definitely started to pick up in the second act, and then even the finale, I thought, as a Marvel finale, was not what you expected it to be. It did take a lot of risks. It did, and I think a lot of it paid off. I do think a lot of it paid off. Yeah. Oh my God. Is that 49% now?
Yeah. It was just at 50.
Just at 50. You just refreshed it. That's why I just froze. I was like, what the heck? It literally just dropped live on the Camgoat Show. We're not making this up. It is now at a low 40. Oh my God!
Like the verified audience, like an 86. You know, It's just another of the trend of like critics or I don't know what's the deal of you know, the audience likes it more than the critics. You know?
Here's the thing. You have to like understand like the difference between like being a critic and then being just a fan, just a watcher, just an audience member, an audience member. Critics really are wanting to break everything down brick by brick and analyze it, this and that. That way YouTube can have these 50-minute long essay videos on why Eternals is the best movie ever, why Eternals is the worst movie ever, the best movie ever, whatever the hell. It's all just for the controversy and just for the conversation. You know, it does feel like these movies are just now becoming, you know, conversations, and that we can no longer, I hate to say it, you know, but just kick back and just enjoy it. Just, you know, take what it is that what we can, take the good for the good, take the bad for the bad, you know. But in this case for Eternals, this movie really dealt with hard, edgy themes, heavy themes that they've never really done in these movies before. And this is what I was kind of missing from Shang-Chi. You know, I felt like the family dynamic in that movie just wasn't there. You know, it was so caught up with wanting to move forward and get to the next action scene, the next karate scene, the next big visual scene. But it really didn't want to spend time with the father, the son, and the sister all having real long, lengthy, in-depth conversations on why it is they feel the way that it is. And this movie does do that. This movie takes up all that and wants to spend time with these characters. So I guess if you're someone who isn't really interested in all that character development and all that, you know, then you're probably not going to have a good time with this. Even visually, I thought this movie was amazing, especially when it came to the Celestials.
Oh yeah, the epicness that they showed throughout the movie was just incredible.
Interstellic. You know, and apart from the cosmic spaces that we haven't seen before, you know, just when you think like you've seen it all, when it comes to space with Marvel, they show you another side of the galaxy, man. I'm surprised we haven't met God at this point. Because we're seeing the Watcher, we're seeing the Celestials, we're seeing probably Galactus soon, MODOK soon. We're going to see all that big, weird stuff, man. We went from like the streets, you know, the neighborhoods, you know, saving New York to bigger ideas. Now, this movie does explain why they couldn't interfere during Earth's wars. And for me, I'm glad they showed rather than tell. Yes, they do tell a little bit towards the end, but in the beginning, they were showing us examples of men fighting wars and them having no choice but to sit back. And some of them were not too keen on that.
Love that.
So you got to see them deny, you know, humanity, the purpose, but also wanting to help humanity, but not help humanity. They were the cause of a lot of problems, you know, and that kind of brought a lot of weight and sadness on their existence. And then it's not towards the end when they mention Thanos, you know, with the snap of a finger, you know, they brought the population back, and that kind of inspired them to be like, you know, we've been taking the back seat this whole time, when they are willing to put themselves out on the line like that. Tony Endgame, you know, and it kind of put a mirror in front of them, and I loved the conversations. I loved the what it means to be human, alive, to have a soul.
Yeah, empathy for the world, for Earth. Yeah.
The aging. There's a character named Sprite. Her powers are kind of like Loki-esque, you know. She's able to like manipulate reality a little bit, and I really loved what they did with her, because this is an immortal who cannot age and hates and is angry at her creator for making her look like this. You know, when she said, do you have any idea what it feels like to want to be a human? I didn't even know I wanted to be a human until I lived among them. It got really heavy and really deep at the end. The betrayal from these characters. Ruben, do you want to talk a little bit about the betrayal, man, off of them?
Yeah, should we give a spoiler warning?
I think we're kind of we're getting into a little bit of the spoilers with this now. So if you I highly recommend you go see this movie without a doubt. This is something you want to see in theaters, right? Yeah. I couldn't imagine watching this at home. No. I had a horrible time watching Black Widow in theaters. We all know that, and I did not have a great time, you know, cat's out of the bag with seeing Shang-Chi in theaters. I thought that was as basic Marvel gets. this at least is doing something new. So we're spoiler warning. Go see it, come back, listen, all that stuff. But let's get into a little bit into spoilers, Ruben.
Sorry about that. Yeah, man. The thing that like really shocked me in the beginning was like how Salma just isn't really in the movie because she dies in the beginning. I wasn't really expecting. I guess now seeing it, looking back at the trailers, you kind of guess, like, oh, okay, she really isn't in those big scenes, you know. Which I thought was interesting. But how her death connects pretty much everything, you know, throughout the story. Everyone really. I loved how they did that. I like how they didn't see her death fully in the beginning. We kind of see it, you know, towards the end. And yeah, I really thought we were gonna keep this team together, you know, for future movies, because you really don't see, you know, the core of like the first movie where it just, you know, it kind of disbanded, you know, at the end. I feel like I'm rambling.
Yeah, no, they did this. Yeah. No, go on.
No, I was just talking spoilers, but I kind of just don't want to, you know, give stuff away.
Yeah,
but
you're right.
This movie,
we don't want to give too much away. I don't think so either. But I guess like, I more so just want to talk about like the relationships. You know, I didn't really feel that I was going to walk out of this feeling the way that I felt, which was really, I felt very emotional walking out of it. You know, not saying that I cried during it or I was weeping, none of that, but I felt the weight on my shoulders that these people must have been going through, you know, not knowing what their existence really means.
After finding out like what really went down
Everything's
between
a lie.
The Deviants and the Celestials and the Eternals. And
Which, by the way, the Deviants, what did you think about like the design of
They were so cool.
I actually really liked it because we've seen a lot of like alien creatures, tentacle stuff, you know, and so we've seen generic stuff and then we've seen really unique stuff, puppeteers, you know, animatronics. This is obviously all VFX, but seeing the evolution of the creatures, the deviant, the deviant from the beginning to the end, because they're like taking they're sucking out their powers, you know, their existence, and that's kind of not making them human, but making them more self-aware, you know, kind of like, imagine like a wolf, you know, kind of being a little bit like an animal, being self-aware, you know. And, you know, they start, at first they're not really able to talk, and then, you know, the more power they gain, the more they're kind of able to articulate their words, but not, you know, full sentences, kind of. They're still kind of like working through it, you know. They're able to stand up straight, they're able to know that there's more out there, you know. Oh my goodness, they really went all out, I think, with the creatures. I think Druig was probably one of my favorites because
you relate to him, I feel like. You know, how he was very sympathetic with humans, and he wanted to be the one who fixes stuff, you know.
Mind control is a touchy subject, because you're talking about taking away free will from somebody, but he wanted to do good with it,
to help.
You know, and so you're kind of sus on him the whole time, waiting to see if like he's going to turn to do something to kill them all. But no, that's actually the twist. That's one of the twists for me, was that Druig isn't a villain. He's kind of just a little bit misunderstood.
Yeah.
Man. Any other final thoughts? You know, we could really kind of just like go on and on, but I really think people need to kind of see this for themselves.
Yeah,
I'm just interested where they take it, because obviously with the post-credit scene, we'll talk about that, but they tease like the next, you know, stage with this franchise, or these characters at least.
Yeah. No, Marvel is building the next phase, and we still have no idea what that looks like. You know, with the multiverse, the timeline breaking and everything coming together. We can only speculate what we think is happening, but we really won't know until we see it. Yeah. I think they're heading in the right direction. I do think if I really have to like say any the stuff that I don't like about this movie, it's just really the jokes, the Marvel humor, all that stuff kind of just like got in the way a little bit for me.
I feel like, yeah, I see what you mean. I didn't feel like it was like too much.
Yeah, not as much as it was in Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi, yeah.
Shang-Chi was terrible. The chicken or beef. I hated that.
Gosh.
I hated it.
But these post-credit scenes, though, I want to hear your thoughts because I kind of knew what we were gonna get going in.
Yeah. Do we want to name drop?
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, Harry Styles is, I guess, now part of the Marvel universe. Is Thanos' brother?
Yes.
That's a big role to take on. Yeah. What's his name again? Like Star Fox.
Star Fox.
Yeah. He looked good. He looked like Harry Styles.
Exactly.
The tight suit.
He looked like Harry Styles wanted to be like Marvel for Halloween. Like any superhero he could dig up, and so that's pretty much what they gave us. But the scene is kind of like the Eternals are kind of like split up now at the end of it, and so some of them are on the ship looking for the others so that they can tell them the truth, and then a rainbow prism portal starts to open, and you start thinking like, is the multiverse cracking again? Is the time like they literally like are leading you on with the way the VFX looks, but then last second like it like it's a portal and some troll pops out, voiced by Patton Oswalt, and then he introduces.
Was it Patton Oswalt?
I think it was Patton Oswalt. I'm pretty confident it was Patton Oswalt. I also saw his name credited in there.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, you're probably gonna have to fact check that for me, but definitely he introduces the brother of Thanos, who appears to be like a good guy. A hero, not a villain. Not what you would expect the brother of Thanos to be. And then he just comes in and says that like their friends are in danger, and that he can help, and then the scene just cuts.
Yeah, so I'm interested. It probably be a while because they're not like in the calendar. Mm-hmm. For I don't even think it's announced like for the next Eternals. Mm-hmm. Like even Shang-Chi 2 isn't announced yet, so probably won't be a while till we see, unless they cross over somehow. I don't know how you do that. Maybe they get a show. I don't know. We'll see.
I do believe, knowing Marvel and knowing how passionate they kind of are with wanting to see these characters interact with each other. I think they have their most fun when movies are crossing over with other movies. So I think I do believe we're still building up to another Endgame type level threat. Oh, yeah. And we're going to see these people come back together and fight together. We're gonna see Shang-Chi, and I'm excited. I'm excited to see Shang-Chi's character come back and do some more stuff. I just wasn't too keen on the movie itself. It had the first half of it wanted to be this like dedicated woohoo, kung fu movie, and then the other half was your typical zany Marvel movie, and the two just did not blend together.
And then we got that second post-credit scene, which I liked a little more.
Really? Now, even though I don't know what any of that meant.
Well, the guy plays
have a little more context for me.
Yeah, well, that guy, the guy who opened up the case, he's a character in the Marvel. He's the Black Knight.
The Black Knight.
The Black Knight. So that's just another character. So it was for people who know that character, who've seen his comics and stuff, I'm sure we're excited. And then the voice. I don't know if this is confirmed, but apparently the director did confirm who the voice was, and it was Blade.
It was Blade.
It was Blade.
Black Knight and Blade.
Black Knight and Blade. So And it did kind of sound like, what's his name, Mahershala Ali.
Yes.
That deep voice, So it had to be,
We had people in the theater like that swore up and down that it was Blade.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we had like a hunch that could be, but
Could you imagine if they showed him though? Oh.
Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. I did not like the way the scene was done. I did not like not seeing or knowing anything. They gave us Harry Styles. They showed us who this guy is, but then they totally just like backpedaled. And I'm not asking for like a full on like look at his face, but at least like show us something. Show us his lips, show us his hands, show us him with the sword, let's hear something. The hair, the coat, or say, Blade will return, or him say, his name, I forget what his human name is. I don't think it's just Blade.
Blade.
Mr. Blade. Blake
the Blade.
That's another thing they did in Shang-Chi. Wasn't his name like Sean?
Sean, yeah.
And he was like hiding from his father. What a freaking moron. What a moron.
But yeah, Eternals, go see it. I thought it was, really good, solid.
What would you rate this movie? Like, I would give it like a 76%,
Yeah, mid 70s, I'd say. I feel, it
It's
was solid,
7.
Put it up there like Iron Man 3 maybe, around those types of movies is like where I would categorize it.
Mm-hmm. I do wonder where this movie's gonna rank. I heard it's actually kind of banned in some countries because it does have not only does it include a sex scene, but it also includes two guys kissing, a gay scene. I don't know how you call that.
Well, I don't think it was banned. It was given like an R rating.
An R rating
for that.
I heard they wanted the studios to re-edit it, to just cut it out, literally to just cut it out, and then they would play it.
Well, cut it out to give it the PG.
The studio didn't want to do that,
which is good on them,
I mean, yeah, like if you did it, why would you go back on it?
No, yeah, they Marvel would never go back on their choices on what it is that they want.
Kevin Feige,
No,
if he says something, it's gonna happen.
Yeah,
no compromising. But it was cool, and shame on them to try to
take that away,
push it away. Yeah, but
there's while we're talking about movies that kind of are getting like a little bit of a bad rep, we've seen some other movies this past Halloween. Halloween is finally kind of over. We're now in November. We're getting into these November release dates movies. We got the December movies coming out, and we're gonna talk about those. But I do want to talk about October specifically. I think I've always loved Halloween. I really think I've always loved Halloween, but I didn't know I always loved, a horror, that kind of stuff. Because when I was little, that stuff really scared the crap out of me. But I also love dressing up. I think when one Halloween, I was like, the Grim Reaper, I was like Death. I was always like carrying a staff and wearing all black, And then Scream, I think Scream 4 came out when I was in about 7th grade, something like that. And then I watched that. I watched the other movies. And then I started to really get into like this horror genre, like one step at a time. I started watching Friday the 13th, the Halloween movies with Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger, Nightmare on Elm Street. I watched the old and the new and everything in between, the Elseworld stuff, all that. And so and even today, I think the older I get, the more I'm like really into this genre. We've been watching so much stuff lately. We just visited Jeepers Creepers. Never seen it. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the first one in the 1970s. And these these movies both kind of are like on the same like scale for me, you know, when it comes to like terror, and they do it really well. When they're not really jump scares, but they just happen, you know, they just happen. And so I've seen really bad and I've seen really good stuff. I like to think. And so what I'm talking about right now is Halloween Kills, specifically. And I've gotten a pretty bad, I've gotten a lot of backlash on liking this movie, on loving this movie. In fact, I had a chance to go to an early screening of it. I took a couple of friends of mine with me, and we saw it. We were kind of up close to the screen, but that didn't bother me at all. What bothered me was the drunk women sitting right next to me that were getting up constantly throughout the movie and stepping on my feet, literally like we're not talking like just a once over, you know. They're putting all their weight on the floor to get to the next step, you know, and I'm over here like, ouch. And then I hear them like making fun of me and all this stuff. And so they got up middle of the movie and left and never came back. I never said anything to them either. I wasn't like, I didn't ask them, can you stop? Or you know, we never like, they were I was trying to ignore them and pay attention to the movie because I was really into it. So thank God they left, honestly. I just don't know how they got in. You know, how did these people get in? They must have just wandered in. But I got to see it like really up close, and the first part of it is kind of like the opening scene is like a flashback from the original 1970 movie, and so it looks like they shot it with those cameras, those lenses, how long and far away they are, the grain on it, you know, even the Michael Myers mask and the shape person looks just like how it did in the 1970s. Also, they brought back Dr. Loomis's character, and Dr. Loomis in Halloween Kills, a man is wearing a prosthetic mask that looks just like the actor from the 70s. So it wasn't like they found a guy that looked like the actor and then just put a couple stuff on him. They put a whole mask and other appliances all around him, you know, and makeup, VFX. I love that kind of stuff. I really do love it. And you should really check out this guy. I follow him on Instagram. I forget what his page is, but I follow the actual makeup artist who did Halloween Kills, and he does amazing, incredible work. He did the splat when the victim fell from the hospital and died. He did that whole thing. And so I think this movie gets a lot of credit for its style, its aesthetic, its creativity. Now, where a lot of people hate and give this movie a lot of crap is that they just feel like the kills mean nothing. You know, the kills mean nothing. It's just he's just doing stuff to do stuff. Everyone's dumb and That's pretty much what I'm hearing from people, which I'm not really hearing any solid, valid arguments. And the reason why I give this movie such a passing grade is mainly due to I know the directors, the writers. I followed the behind the scenes. You know, I've listened to a lot of podcasts on why they make decisions for Michael Myers, and they're real fans. They're real fans. They're working with John Carpenter. You know, John Carpenter being the original creator of Michael Myers, and who also did the score for it as well. He's attached to these projects. So in my mind, if they didn't have the blessing of Carpenter himself, then this movie would have been just like a fail, like all around. But having him under your belt, having the same director from the last movie come back and do this and not switch directors and writers, having the same cast and crew consecutively from the first one to this and to what we got coming up, I think is fantastic. Because we're not seeing movies like this a lot today. It's got a little bit of a John Wick excitement to it, because when kills happen, the audience was going nuts. Everyone was clapping when Laurie tried to get out of the hospital bed and then had to go back in the hospital bed. That's another gripe that people have, is that here's another movie where Jamie Lee Curtis has to take a back seat and just do nothing, and all this stuff. But I think this movie is going to tell us how good it is, depending on how we get to Halloween Ends, which is the third installment, the final chapter in this. Apparently that's always been the plan. Is from I read an article back in the beginning of this year that even like name dropped the title, and I didn't even know this totally like slipped under the cracks, but that the title was Halloween Ends. So we have the first one being, Halloween, and then the 20, I forget what year, 2018 Halloween. That's attached to it. Everything else in between is totally like retconned. Halloween Kills and then Halloween Ends. I love the mob mentality in this movie when everyone kind of goes against each other because of what Michael has caused. His existence has brought this madness, and it really has this Frankenstein's monster village town doctor thing going on for it. And I love Frankenstein. I love monster stuff like that, I just think this movie was an adrenaline rush from beginning to end, because when the door opens and the fire and the house is coming down and the door opens and he's down there and the fireman's down there and the first shot of him, you can see his eyes. They're not blacked out. You can see his eyes, and the eyes are what does it for me. They picked the best actor to play the Shape. It's the same actor from that's going to be in all of these and in all of these three new trilogy that we have coming. It's the same actor, which I was worried, are they going to replace the Shape? Is it, a stunt double here and there? But for the most part, it's actually that guy. When he's doing, there's a behind the scenes video of him actually working with the stunt team on how he took down the firemen, with the axe, using it like a sword. That was one of my favorites. I think that was my favorite scene, probably. Well, I had a lot of favorite others, but that alone with the firemen, because there's these intense close-ups of them and their masks, and they're all foggy, and they look at each other, and it's in slow-mo, and then they get the sword, and it's just so intense, and then he's walking slowly towards them and just automatically takes them down. It's just so tight. I can't help it. But I'm an idiot for loving it. I'm an idiot. I don't know nothing about cinema, about anything. What do I know? I know nothing. Am I irritated that Laurie had to take a backseat? I guess, yeah, sure. I can complain all day about that. But I understood the decision, and I think depending on what she does in Halloween Ends, I think it'll all come in full circle. I think they made a great choice in making her back out, because it became about Tommy Doyle. It became about them, which Tommy Doyle, man. Oh my God, he was okay. People are mad that Tommy didn't really get to tear shit up, go full out and do all, really smash and do crazy stuff. But I loved Tommy Doyle's mentality. I loved his where he was coming from. I loved his courage. I love how his anger, you know, that was clouding his judgment. I loved seeing the arc of him making a mistake and then still trying to redeem himself at the end. Yeah. Tommy Doyle being the child that Laurie took care of 40 years ago when Michael first came, which, yeah, they always got to remind you, 40 years ago this happened, 40 years ago this and that. You know, they're always giving you a history lesson on what happened 40 years ago. And so, yeah, that in that case, yeah, it gets annoying. Yeah, sure. But you know that some people are calling him homophobic, Michael Myers. You know, because he kills the gay couple.
I saw that on Twitter.
Did you see that? Did you see this? You know what I'm talking about?
I was so confused. Just because, like, he kills everyone.
That, yeah, right. You're right. Isn't that equality in itself? You know, that everybody takes it, and he probably didn't even know that they were even shacking up because he didn't even see them like doing anything. They weren't doing anything. They were just two guys. He, for all he knew, they were roommates in college, and they just haven't, you know, grown up yet. You know, I didn't even get a homophobic vibe or anything from them, and
their kills were cool.
And it's kind of really ridiculous that there's articles out there about these two characters that are gay and Halloween Kills. You know, Eternals. We got two guys kissing. You know, people just, you know, really want to like make that stuff, you know, headlines and make that like, do I gotta see it? You know, it's just like. Who cares? For me, it's all about context. For me, it's all about. I've said this before. It's all about context. If that's the story, that's the story. You know, who cares? Oh my God, I'm really excited for what. Apparently, Halloween Ends has a 4-year
gap
time jump. Yes. Which, what the hell does that mean? Has Michael been in hiding this whole time? Yeah. Is he been asleep? There's that picture of him like asleep. Yeah. I beyond that, I have no idea what the final movie is going to like really entail. But I think at that point, Jamie Lee Curtis's character will be healed. So whatever she needs to do, she'll be able to do. But I think that movie's gonna be. I'm really excited. I'm really anticipating that. I think they're going to deliver. I think they understand for the fans, not the critics. You know, this is the same conversation with Eternals. Ruben is that the critics are really trying to, you know, really want to tear it apart. But if you're a fan and you've seen the bad Halloween movies, the worst of Michael Myers, and you see this and you're like, oh wow, man, like these are true fans that are making it. And you know, I applaud like the cast and crew. You know, they work so hard on those sets, on making these decisions and these unpopular decisions. You know, I'm always saying I want to see something different. I'm always looking for something different, and I think this movie really delivered on something different.
Yeah. Closing in on 50 minutes so far. That's crazy.
Are we really? Oh my goodness.
But you have any other closing thoughts on Halloween? Or you think you covered it all?
I think I covered it all. The movie, I don't know if it's still on Peacock. I've seen it a few times already. I definitely would recommend to people, if you haven't seen them, go see the 1970 first, and then see this new trilogy. It's definitely worth it. It's definitely worth catching up on. We have all been watching this new series, Chucky.
Yeah,
Chucky. Ruben, you're not in particular a horror fan. Wouldn't you say so?
Yeah, I just never. I've watched a few when I was little, and you know, growing up, but just the horror genre just never piqued my interest. This is something I just don't enjoy. This is something I just wasn't able to get into, you know. Mm-hmm. And you know, I would just stay away from it. But Chucky was an interesting one to come around, because it's not really. I wouldn't call it like a jump. I think I'm more jump scare horror type stuff, demonic type stuff. Mm-hmm. You know, I just don't like that stuff for me personally.
Yeah, the Conjuring movies, never seen them, don't care for them. I'm not really all about the supernatural either. You know, I love slasher stuff. You know, I love creepy stuff.
I gotcha. And then for Chucky, you know, I've always known Chucky, of course. You know, who doesn't? But recently, I'm trying to think, how did I come across it? Was it just the show was coming out and then?
The first 2 episodes were available on YouTube, and we watched them together. We were working out in the garage, and then we put it on, and we really got sucked into it, man. We kind of just like dropped everything we were doing and we got sucked into it. And I kind of gave you a little bit of a history lesson on Chucky, man. And then we watched the new movie that just came out with Mark Hamill. Was it Child's Play? Child's Play, yeah.
2 years ago.
What did you think of that one when we watched it?
I was actually shocked of how good it was for a movie that takes you know a known character. I thought so, you know.
Yeah.
Usually those movies I feel like they're pretty hot garbage, you know.
Yeah.
The way they just take a character and they just do the same thing, but it was different. That's what I really enjoyed about it. And obviously, maybe for like a diehard Chucky fan, they weren't a fan of it because they kind of liked the roots of Chucky, how you know he gets transformed, like you know he was like a serial killer, and then he goes into this
voodoo rituals, yeah,
all that stuff. But for me coming in, seeing it with you know a fresh set of eyes, the way you know it was told in our time, basically with AI, you know, it was kind of like their Alexa, you know. It was Amazon's you know ecosystem of devices, you know, it controls you know the lighting, it controls you know your house and stuff like that, and I thought it was well done, you know. I really cared for the characters, you know, even you know. The neighbor, you know, the cop neighbor, you know, when his mother died, I kind of felt that, you know, and overall, yeah, I thought it was very well put, you know. What did you feel? Were you?
Oh, when it comes to the Child's Play movie, yeah, I do like it exactly for what you just said. It's another one of those movies that takes risks and it actually does pay off for itself. It's a little disappointing that they're not going to continue, because I wouldn't mind having both Chuckies. I wouldn't mind the AI Chucky franchise continuing, and I also am a huge fan of the classic Voodoo, Bride of Chucky, Seed of Chucky, all that stuff. You know, so I know a lot about the history of him, and so I think for me, I would love to have the best of both worlds. It's never been like announced if like Mark Hamill and all of them would come back and do a second one. But even casting him, I thought was a great choice. The song, you know, I really love how the song is like really like in the beginning, it's this nice, you know, children's song, and you are sold on how it'd be nice, how it's like kind, and then by the end of it, it's just like this like really creepy thing, and you just don't want to hear it. It gives you chills down your spine, and I thought they did a really good job at that. But going to the Chucky series, this is different, okay? This is back to the roots. This is all kind of canon and lore to the other movies. They reference all the other stuff. You even get to learn a little bit more about Charles when he was a kid, you know, how he became a serial killer and everything like that. But with this new story, it's about a kid. What's his name again? It's not Andy. I always get Jake. Jake is our protagonist in this case. You know, I kind of loosely say protagonist, because he himself is kind of a little bit on the edge as a kid himself, but he's damaged by his home, by his abusive father, by not being supportive towards his art and his lifestyle. He does have a bit of a crush on this boy at school. He doesn't really know, or he's embarrassed to even like talk about those feelings. And they do that. They deal with these themes of adolescents not really able to cope or understand their feelings really well. You know, why it is they feel or think the way that they think. They deal with it really well. And then Chucky is introduced right away, huh? Like the first shot is him being picked up at the garage sale from Jake, and Jake is like really into like getting dolls and like ripping them apart and kind of like making like this like sculpture stuff and everything. And so he was planning on doing that with Chucky, but his dad is like really against like him doing art and yells at him to stop this stuff. Comes in and even smashes his art piece, and that was tough. That was tough stuff to see. You know, no mother in the picture, nothing like that. And so Chucky doesn't show any signs yet of you know, popping out anytime soon, and it isn't until, you know, he goes to, what was it, the talent show at school, when they start, the girl is making fun of him and picking on him in front of everybody, and then you hear Chucky sitting in the back. Which, how did he get there? You know, Jake didn't bring him. He turns around and is kind of even shocked that he's there too, and he's, you know, back there doing his thing, you know, talking like this. You know, you love hearing the voice of Chucky. You know, why don't you pick on someone your own size, you bitch? They go all out with you know, how much of a dick he is. He's a dick, you know. That's his character in this, and so he puts him up on stage, and you know, he like whispers in Jake's ear, you know, go up on stage, you know. So they go up on stage, and he pretends to be like a ventriloquist, and Chucky starts saying all of these horrible things to everybody, and it's hilarious, you know, because what he's saying is true, you know, because these people are awful people for condoning this type of behavior, you know. But at the same time, it's coming from a killer doll. It's coming from Chucky. So anybody that gets on Chucky's, you know, bad on his list is gonna get it. And so the series goes on with Chucky and Jake relationship evolving, and Chucky's really like, you know, whispering in his ear, trying to get him to kill, you know. And Chucky's done this in the past. He's kind of created other serial killers by inspiring and getting them to kill their parents or whatever. And so Jake, what are we on right now? Episode 4? There's 4 episodes out right now, huh?
Yeah.
The 4th episode, which is really what we're gonna like kind of be talking about right now, is the hospital episode, which right away, hospital episode got you so excited, because you don't put this guy anywhere near any the possibilities, dude. We're endless right off the bat. The show tells you, and you know, and you have this feeling like, oh my god, this can go anywhere. This can go anywhere, and this is not good. This is not good. This is scary. This is horrible. You don't want to watch it. You don't want to watch it, you know. But they also know how to have fun with it. There's a point in the episode where Jake and the girl, they go back to the house. The house burned down, and they go to find Chucky. And Chucky was actually at the hospital with them. So you kind of think that he's still at the hospital running around and doing stuff over there. But no, he's at the house. And so that him and Jake and this girl are going back and forth. You know, he's kind of confessing a little bit to her. Yes, I tried to. I didn't try to have you killed, but Chucky convinced me to drop him off and, you know, and let him do his thing. Pretty much, you know, he wasn't, you know, but the conversation gets kind of heated, and she's done horrible things to Jake throughout. She dressed up as his dead father on Halloween, and just embarrassed and humiliated him. So textbook, yeah, this girl has every reason to die. Yeah, absolutely. But however, the conversation gets heated, and she accidentally like falls over like the stairs, and so Jake like grabs her and is like holding onto her and is trying to like pull her back up, and Chucky creeps out from the shadows, burnt,
like
half burnt. And this is again episode 4. We're just getting into the show, and he's already like like messed up, where can it go from here? You only wonder. But it looks horrible. It looks terrifying. And he like very kindly talks to Jake, you know, just let go, you know, it's the easiest thing to do. Just let go. He keeps like doing it. And he's like, fuck it, I'll do it myself. And he's like trying to stab her. And it's classic Chucky, man. That's the best Chucky, man. It's hilarious. It's scary at the same time. It's pretty good acting because they actually got like like kids, you know. They're like actually like 16, age appropriate. Man, what do you think? You kind of just like hopped into Chucky.
Yeah, I think that was like the end of the second episode, but it was cool, like seeing like modern day bullying or whatever. The relationship between like the mayor and like the rest of the people, and the teachers are involved too. The
small town,
it's a really small town, and just seeing like Chucky bring horror to, and then they don't even know. No, he's always like the one behind everything, but they don't know it's him, but they're also kind of like suspicious because the doll is always present at the scenes, and they know Chucky's like history. So
yeah. Ruben?
Yeah, man, coming in not knowing, you know, much about the character, really, you know, I just really know the name or the brand of Chucky, and yeah, I was shocked how good it was for being a sci-fi show, you know, of all things, you know, and so far I'm interested. I'm hooked on what they're gonna what they're gonna do next, because we left off with Chucky doing another kill.
God,
it
dude,
was brutal,
you want to mention that kill, man? I totally forgot about it. You gotta mention it.
How did it start? It was just this guy, just like he was eating like cookies. He was eating like cookies, and crumbs were just falling off on Chucky. And Chucky was just pissed. and
again, Chucky's burnt.
Yeah. And then it just turned. He turns around and Chucky's there, and he has like used needles.
Yeah.
Blood still in them.
Who knows where they've been? And then he just starts stabbing him with like 10 needles.
In both hands.
Yeah.
Both hands.
It was just so.
Next to the bed.
That's right. Next to the kid
who
right?
you think the little sister who he was close with. You think that they're friends, but then he unplugs her machine.
Oh yeah.
I think he did that to draw everyone.
Absolutely, but still.
Yeah,
that's still horrible.
He doesn't care.
He doesn't care. And the episode ends with everyone, rushing in, seeing the dead body, and Jake and the girl are in the background, and they see Chucky there. They see him sitting like by the window, and very slowly his head turns at them, and he flips them off. So good, man. I kind of am staying away from the preview of the next week's episode shows, because I really want to be surprised by what happens next. So I'm just so excited for where this series is going, where it's gonna end. I know for sure, we're gonna get into maybe the bride of Chucky. I think she's gonna come back, the same actress.
He talked about
his son, maybe he could come back. We could see some cult stuff. We could see multiple Chucky's rise. Anything is fair game at this point. He could lead a revolution. You love when Chucky just takes charge.
Yeah. I'm trying to see how many episodes we're getting. I'm curious to. Let's say. So far they have 6 on listed. So I don't know if it's. Hopefully it's
really. Is it only going to be 6 episodes?
Let's see.
That's pretty short, but hey, man, interesting. Interesting.
10 episodes. Okay.
10 episodes.
Okay,
Okay,
that's fine.
thank
So,
God.
yeah.
I was gonna say it's coming to an end soon. That's probably why he looks like that. But thank God. Wow, 6 more episodes, and where are we gonna unpack in that?
Yeah, especially how like everyone, especially like with the detective being so suspicious of Chucky already.
Oh yeah, everyone's caught up, man.
Yeah. So I'm interested. Every Tuesday or Tuesday night, I should say. I remember Tuesday morning we woke up and we
Try to
were
watch it.
Try to watch it. Like, oh, I forgot how TV works. How they premiere at night.
Time. Yeah.
Everything's different because we're watching so much stuff right now. We watch a lot of things on Apple TV, HBO, Hulu. Only Murders in the Building. We just finished that, and that's 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. Good Morning, the morning show with Steve Carell, Jennifer Aniston, Reese Witherspoon, The Servant, M. Night Shyamalan, Schmigadoon. We did watch Schmigadoon. There's just so much really happening with TV right now that I 90%. Wow,
I think that's fair.
Chucky is certified 90%. Definitely fair. Absolutely. We got some exciting stuff coming up from Disney Day, man. What's happening here?
Yeah. So
Disney Plus Day.
Disney Plus Day.
Disney Plus Day. It's an annual holiday. They have it every year. I just didn't know it, I guess.
Yeah, the 12th is the 2-year anniversary of Disney Plus, which is crazy how long,
Has it really been 2 years? I thought it just opened like last week.
I know. We've gotten so much content from Star Wars, Mandalorian, to all the Marvel stuff we got this year.
We haven't even talked about that. We haven't even discussed what we felt about WandaVision, Winter Soldier, and Falcon.
I think we'll do a recap
Loki.
of that next week or something.
Oh,
like that.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
But yeah, this is basically they're gonna do like a live presentation. They kind of did this last year, but it was more like a Disney in general thing, where they announced like all the upcoming Disney Plus shows. And so specifically here, the things the one thing that is confirmed is we're gonna get a Kenobi trailer, a full trailer.
Oh my God.
So we're gonna get our first looks of
God.
Ewan McGregor back in the robe or whatever they're gonna do, or they're gonna age him up. I'm excited to see that. That's the only thing we've gotten confirmed so far, but I think it's like an hour presentation, so we're gonna get other stuff. I'm hoping we get some more stuff from Marvel. We get maybe
It's gonna be way better than DC fandom, that's for sure.
Yeah, DC fandom was 8 hours? It was like
Oh
8
my
hours.
God, you're kidding? Was it really?
It was long. It was
Yeah, no, you're being dramatic, but it was definitely long.
it was like five hours.
That's long. That's long.
That's still long.
That's still long.
And I think like just 30 minutes in total was like the stuff we wanted to see. We wanted to see like the Batman trailer, the Flash. We wanted to see all that. But I'm glad it's only an hour, so I'm sure we'll get another
Right to the point.
Probably get another trailer for Home Alone.
Home Sweet Home Alone.
Sweet Home Alone.
Is that what it's called?
It's Home Sweet Home Alone.
We're gonna watch it. We're gonna review it. We're gonna
Yeah, we are.
review all that stuff.
Just like Clifford,
But yeah,
the
just
big red dog.
just I'm excited to see more Star Wars stuff because I feel like this year especially we didn't get much. We kind of finished Mandalorian at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, we got the Boba Fett trailer that just came a few days ago, and that was tight. Not really much to say there. It's more of a teaser. We already knew what was happening. He's gonna come take over the kingdom. He's gonna rise up, all that kind of stuff, which is really cool. The real hype and the real everything, the gravitation is all on Obi-Wan right now. I was just saying the other day was that it was interesting how in Revenge of the Sith they worked so hard on making Ewan look as close to Alec Guinness from A New Hope to age him up and make the beard, the haircut, everything look like he's about to go into that era in his life. However, that it's like we're gonna step away from that maybe because I can, like you said, can only imagine what he's going to look like with probably long hair, big beard. He's been in hiding this whole time, watching over Luke. And so seeing Hayden Christensen come back, I do think we're going to see Anakin in the trailer rather as opposed to Darth Vader. We'll probably hear like some Darth Vader stuff, but I really think we'll see Hayden Christensen. Dude hasn't acted forever.
Yeah, man, I've missed him.
We missed him. We missed both of them. Both of them barely do it. Dr. Sleep. I'm not gonna take that, man, from Ewan.
It's good in
that movie put me to sleep.
Birds of Prey.
Oh my god, I forgot he was in there as Black Mask.
He was good. I thought he was fine, but that right. He did his job. He did his job. But I mean, we'll see. We'll see what we get next week. I'm excited. Hopefully, we can do. I don't know. We could do something live or something.
You think we're gonna get anything from Moon Knight?
I hope. That's what I'm. That's the project I'm mostly waiting for. With Oscar Isaac being on board.
Loved him in Dune.
Oh yeah, we haven't talked
Loved
about
him in Dune.
We'll get into that later. But yeah, I think for the most part, I hope we get Moon Knight. Probably, I think She-Hulk is coming first before Moon Knight, so we might get something from there. Mr. Marvel, we were supposed to get that show this year, but because
and they were showing us clips pretty early too, so they definitely got something now.
They'll probably drop a trailer because that's coming the summer around the time the Marvels comes out. So they're gonna time it a certain way, but I'm excited for Disney Plus. Overall, I think Disney Plus has been a success. What did you say?
It did have its like rough start. I think it did have its rough start, but overall in time it's going to be a success. This is kind of the same way that I feel about Apple TV, is that like it's not really a success now, but in time these shows are going to age well. People are going to talk about them. People are going to revisit them. In the movies as well. The movies that they're featuring on there are going to get better. I kind of think that they were in all these platforms were in a place where they need to build content, and Hulu and Netflix are kind of really ahead in the game of like having their own original content, having so much of it, so much movies, they buy the rights to a lot of indie movies that play like on just their platform alone, but going back to Disney Plus, I think once we get the rest of these shows, man, I think we're gonna have such a library of all of so much to just pick and choose from, to just go into any world, any category that you want to. And that's the fun thing about the Marvel Universe, is that there's so many different genres, different characters, different actors, different worlds, different styles, different soundtracks that you can really that's for anybody, it's for anybody can get into. I think Moon Knight's gonna be like that Daredevil, Batman-esque, real dark and gritty. I think we're gonna get John Berthel as Punisher back. We know we're gonna get Wilson Fisk back in the Hawkeye series. Which we're excited. I'm excited about Hawkeye. I saw the trailer. Not a lot of people were into the Christmas thing. I on the other hand hate Christmas stuff, but think this is a great example of that. It kind of gives me a little bit of Die Hard vibes. We were just watching Die Hard. Wow, that just clicked in me right now. Honestly, I think it's gonna be the Die Hard of the Marvel movies.
Wow.
Boom, baby. Let's put that on the stamp. Yep.
We shall see next week, but we should probably move on from Hollywood, maybe into some of your stuff you're working on.
I'm gonna drink your water.
Cool.
I ran out of water. I love these mugs that we have over here. In case you haven't noticed, we have The Office, World's Best Boss, and Vote for Pedro. And we have a huge collection of mugs, different characters, heroes, and phrases, and all this stuff. And so
we'll
swap them around. Okay. You guys are gonna see this like interchange from time to time. We're gonna get a little bit into, as Ruben was saying, our personal projects. Yeah. Where have we been this whole time? And a lot of people think that we've been doing nothing. That we just been doing nothing, just sitting on our ass doing nothing. And we kind of are. We a little bit are, but we've done a lot. We moved out of the apartment and we moved into a 4-bedroom house where we're with 2 living rooms, a giant kitchen, a big garage, you know, and so we're adapting and we're making our home our studio. We're making this like comfortable where we can do everything that we want to and imagine in it here. You know, I'm able to go into my office. I have my own office here, where I'm able to go in there and write my projects, write new scripts, edit my own stuff. You know, we're able to go in the garage, and we're turning that, like I said earlier, into a home gym, you know, where we're able to watch TV, listen to music, get inspired. You know, we have posters up in there, all that kind of stuff. So we've been into that phase of our life, but we've also been we have some movies. We have some movies that I've been working on. I currently have a short film on Amazon Prime called Shadow Valley. I haven't had a chance to really talk about this. I haven't really had a platform or a day or a chance to really like talk about this. If you haven't seen the trailer, go check the trailer out. I think we have a clip. We may play that clip for you guys right now, so that way you can see and get a little taste of that.
You got yourselves a deal. Bring up the ladies. Make sure they have enough dosage for their trip.
We shot this October last year. We shot this October last year, and we were sitting on it for months, mostly due only to the fact that we had submitted it to film festivals. And if you are unaware how film festivals kind of work, they have deadlines. They have release days. Like you're not allowed to put your project anywhere, otherwise you get disqualified. You know, and we were paying money and fees for these applications to win awards. And we actually won a couple of awards. We won Best Acting. Ruben, did you not win Best Poster? Dude, let's give Ruben a round of applause. Let's give David Sampson a round of applause. He won Best Acting. He won a couple of those for Best Acting. His performance in it was remarkable. We'll get into that as well. Don't worry. The poster, man, we haven't even printed it out yet. We haven't. We've been so busy that we haven't had a chance to print out this poster, and we're going to print it out and we're going to frame it and go all out with it. But dude, you killed it, man. You really killed it. The original concepts that I was sending you were Gone Girl vibes. You know, when he's like standing by the lake and everything. So there's like two different posters that you made. One where he's in the suit, and then one where he's like with Lacey by the lake, and you can kind of see his like face in the clouds in the sky, and the way it blends into that is perfect, dude. A lot of problems with posters these days are blending color schemes, just generic patterns and vibes, and me and Ruben have done everything with our projects to make the posters like reminiscent of a time that is no longer today. You know, we look at a lot of old stuff and want to like revamp and bring those kind of in today. That was like New York, wasn't it? It was a New York festival you won.
Yeah.
And this was during COVID. So we, you know, typically with those festivals, when they have like the ceremony and stuff, or like, you know, and all that, you go to it. But because of COVID, they were doing it online and all the stuff. And so it just became like, is it even worth it anymore? You know, we were waiting, and we were, again, winning awards for, you know, editing, this and that, directing, writing. And And I just kind of got tired of waiting for the other festivals, and I just wanted to get it out. I just wanted people to see it. It got to a point where I realized I don't really care about this.
You just wanted the world to see it.
I just wanted people to check it out, see what it was that we were capable of, and I knew that the work could speak for itself.
Well, as it went live, you know, we were able to see some like the first couple weeks, and it did pretty good. I'm trying to remember what it started with initially, but I remember it had like a big hit once, you know, you dropped the trailer and you dropped the release. I think you posted. Well, how did you release it? I think you posted
the marketing. You mean the marketing of it all? Yeah, I think it was kind of like within a 2-week span. Like people knew we were working on something, you know, but they hadn't seen anything. I think we released a teaser like a month in advance, you know, just to give them a little something, but that was nothing really compared to like the trailer. The trailer was the, you know, the meat and the bones and the potatoes and all that. I think we posted the trailer like maybe the week before, and then that Friday I think it went on Amazon Prime, and so that trailer really did like kind of boost it up a little bit and got everyone excited. And for some reason it doesn't tell us like overall. It'll tell us like over weeks, you know, or whatever like that. But not only was like the number kind of high, but you also had to take in consideration that it was like people were watching this in their homes, you know, so other family members other people were watching it. So you can't really take into account an exact number of how many people were watching this. We were in New York when it released, were we not? Actually, I totally forgot about that. We were on a flight to New York. We were working on a music video, and my client had just watched it on the flight, because I think the plane that we were on, you can go on Amazon Prime. They had access on like Amazon Prime, and you could watch stuff on there. And I looked up on there Shadow Valley, and boom, Shadow Valley popped up. And I was like, oh shoot, this is cool. You know, you can watch my movie on a plane essentially. You know, so it was really cool. It was a good feeling, you know. And so while we were out there, you know, we were able to talk about it, get it out there, you know, tell people, yeah, it just came out today. It just came out right now. So go watch it, you know. And it was like, whoa, you know, he's out of town, and then this is happening. And so I was getting a lot of messages from a lot of people who were checking it out. Something that I really didn't want people to like be confused about was that, you know, this wasn't an action movie. This isn't an action film. This isn't that at all. You know, that's kind of just like another element or twist that was like kind of thrown in there. That's context. But the overall idea was more so to be this thriller. You know, this kind of like this thriller. I was using a lot of references, like I said, to like, does David Finch do Gone Girl? Is that the director? You can fact check that for me real quick. He also did, I think, like Fight Club.
Yeah, David Fincher.
Yeah, David Fincher. Yeah, those are two different guys. Yeah, David Fincher was the director I was using a lot of inspiration from. And I wrote the script. Sorry, I always say, you know, because you know, everything's a group effort. You know, we all came together and put that together. You know, but I wrote the script, and I think the script was only 7 pages. Mm-hmm. It was only 7 pages. It wasn't long, and there was a little bit of improv, but most of it was pretty scripted. Most of the actors were trying to stay on script, and a lot of complications happened with that project, because it's about, you know, this husband who wakes up in the middle of the night, and then his wife is being kidnapped like right before his eyes, and it's one of those moments where, like, you know, you fight, flight, or freeze, you know, and he kind of like froze, you know, he kind of froze up in that second. And with that, he made, you know, that was a mistake. But anyways, we had so much more that we were going to do with the wife. You know, we had more that we were going to film and shoot and do with the wife, but we traveled to a top mountain. We were so high up, you guys. Like, we were really high up, and we had no idea. My car was actually not suited for this at all. Yeah, my car was low, and this was one of those like binding roads. And I actually got a flat on my way down from the mountain. And we were stranded, me and my lead actor, for like a couple of hours, and it was tough. It was a fight, but anyways, going back to the top of the mountain, we had actors and people that were meeting us up there, and the girl was supposed to meet us up there. She told us, I offered to give her a ride. I offered to pick her up and that she could drive up there with us and be there with us. But she was like, no, take my own car and all this stuff. And so she goes, it is on the way. She's practically like driving on the highway, all that stuff. And then she sees like, the road and decides that it's too dangerous for her car and turns around and leaves.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Now, I wasn't paying these actors. I couldn't really pay them. I paid for the locations. Mm-hmm. I was doing all the heavy lifting. I was doing the cinematography, the writing, the directing, the editing, everything, man. So I had a lot on my own plate. Also, the fees that we did with the film festivals. And so she bailed on us, and we had to quickly improvise, figure out, something, how to make it work. And we made it work. I don't want to spoil it, because I kind of want you guys to see it, to watch it. But we made it work. And I think when you watch it for the first time, you may be convinced that's exactly how we wanted it to be. But that it's actually a product of a lot of complications that were totally out of my control. And so yeah, I really love spending a lot of time with my characters. I'm all about character development. That's where my criticism comes from with these movies, if they don't spend time developing their characters. Because if I don't care, then why do I care when they die or when something happens? I don't know them. Why should I feel for them? And so I really spent a huge the whole 20 minutes on the husband, on establishing. You're kind of suspicious of him a little bit. Did he have something to do with this? Is he a little mentally unstable? He is, because he got hit in the head pretty hard. By the thugs that took his wife, and so I kind of applied a lot of my favorite things from those thriller genres, from you're being suspicious of this, you're being suspicious of that, which direction is going over here, the detective not really doing his job and looking the other direction when he should be looking this direction. And so what does that do to a man when they have no other choice but to maybe take it up on their own hands, and so the actors would meet up at the apartment outside, and they would practice the choreography, the fighting, and that was really cool to watch, because that was the first time I ever was kind of part of that or in that. And they kept on asking me questions where's the camera angle going to be? What do you want us to do? This and that. And I kind of just was I don't really have a preference. It's I know what I want the scene to feel like. I know the extension that I want it to be, like a rubber band. We're going to be pulling on it, one at a time. But it's more so up to you guys and what your comfortability is, what you're capable of doing. And, some of them were capable of doing this. Some of them weren't capable of doing that. But a lot of them were down about it, pretty much. A lot of them were down to, get hurt, to be in the thick of it. Especially female side assassin partner. The actress's name is Jasmine Delgado, and she's probably, I think we were supposed to have more women in the fight, but it ended up only being one woman. I wasn't too happy about that, but at the same time, I thought that was really cool because she was able to shine and take all of that focus. You know, she doesn't have lines, she doesn't do much, but she is kind of like this like force to like be reckoned with. Reminds me a lot of Ruby Rose's character from John Wick 2. You know, she's like deaf and does like sign language, but she's like a killer assassin in there.
Also, in Shadow Valley, it's really about like the environment that's in like going on right now, like with women being taken, and shows a lot like of that. Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, because his wife was taken for sex trafficking organization. That was one of the layers that we added into there that could be, you know, different. And yeah, I did write that during that time when that was like so heavy. We would literally like read articles that would say, you know, girl was taken from a gas station midday, you know, broad daylight. Nobody said it did anything. And it was just like, how, why them? You know, what are they doing to them? You know, there's so many unsolved, you know, questions. And so that was weighing like really, really, really heavy. And so and I kind of put myself a little bit into I think definitely the husband's shoes. Was like, you know, if I woke up in the middle of the night and then like, you know, that happened to me, she was gone, you know, what would I do? Where would that, you know, kind of put me at? And I knew I would be distraught. I knew I wouldn't be good. And so it came out, the project came out way better than I had expected. I think it still holds up. You know, I've seen it from time to time, and I'm actually a person that doesn't like to watch my stuff like again, like revisit them again, because some of them aren't good or doesn't age well or whatever. But I do believe it does. I do. You know, the colors are so rich. The yellows are yellows, the blues are blues, the greens are greens. You know, the suit. You know, the costumes. The again, the fighting, the intensity, the acting. You know, the city, the atmosphere, the ambience, the world that was built, that I built in this. I think it's all there. You know, the original title, we didn't come up with Shadow Valley until I think editing, until like post. It was originally called just Ward, which is the character's name is Ward Elliott. Which I named him Ward kind of after that you know the hospital ward, you know, when you go to the hospital ward. Also, I think I was in California, and I would drive by like streets that said Ward, and so that word literally just kept popping up. It doesn't pop up anymore today, but at that time in my life, it kept on, just was like everywhere, and I was like, interesting, you know. So that's kind of like how I do a lot of like my building, like the world around me will confirm my own ideas and tell me, yes, that is the right idea, yes, you need to go through with that. And so that was really that short film was really what I felt going to be the beginning phase, you know, the foundation of what I'm going to build on going forward into the future, what I expect out of these projects. And I see a lot of like local, like, you know, filmmakers making stuff out here, and a lot of it just doesn't impress me. You know, and I think it just goes back to that same old conversation where it's just like the characters are just flat. The acting is just flat. You know, the quality is not there. You know, the audio is terrible, or the music is copyrighted. I know you took that soundtrack from another movie. You know, it's it's kind of like a Frankenstein's monster, you know. It's just a bunch of stuff just thrown in together and doesn't feel you know, what I believe like the roots of filmmaking is, which is like you got to get out there, you got to get your hands dirty, and you got to rip it apart, you know, brick by brick before you're out there, you know. And I'm really happy and proud with how that came out. I really recommend people go and check that out, because it'll only get you prepared for what we have coming up next, which we have this new we've already shot it. It's already been shot. It's already been filmed. It's in editing. We're doing VFX right now. Ruben is our also our VFX artist, and he's working on the shots right now for this one. And this one is different than you know, Shadow Valley was this low budget. I love low budget. You know, low budget is a style. You know, you have to master that, and I think that was that. Yeah. And so Shadow Valley is this like awesome low budget, gritty thriller drama esque film, while this new movie that we're working on, titled Augment, is more in the science fiction sci-fi genre, right? Wouldn't you say? This is a short story that I came up with again last year. I came up with it around the same time I wrote Shadow Valley, but I kind of like wrote the premise and then just like stored it away for like another time. And then when we finished Shadow Valley, I was going through all of my stuff, and I have scripts for other things too, other projects that are coming out, but I was kind of like seeing, what do I want to work on next? You know, I have so many ideas, you know, what do I want to do next? And then I found like, you know, I wrote this concept out, and you know, it wasn't much, you know, I didn't write everything, you know, it was very little detail, and a lot of it I threw away and trashed and just kept the core and the center of it. And that's what came to be Augment. I went back, completely wrote a script, and I wonder how many pages that script was. I think I have it right here. Give me 1 second. So I told you Shadow Valley was 7 pages, and this one is 21 pages.
Wow.
So yeah, not a whole lot, you know, typically, you know, scripts would go, you know, over 100 pages and all that. But I think the example, what it is, the point I'm trying to prove here is that I write very little, yet they come out so big. You know, the script is just a skeleton, is just a blueprint for me to kind of follow as we're going through it. But it isn't really the I give the actors a lot to work with, but they're able to bring their own to it, you know. And so Augment so far is bigger than Shadow Valley. I don't want to give too much away. I really just want to throw out the title, the idea that it is science fiction, and the idea and the fact that my stories going forward, Isaac Joel, when something comes out, it's going to be a genre blend. It's going to be a something I believe that you haven't seen before, because I'm mixing certain genres that haven't been mixed before, and I'm still applying traditional filmmaking techniques, and I'm always doing different things, you know, with them. You know, some movies I may shoot, you know, all handheld, you know, because that's a style, that's a trend, you know, The Strangers. And then some I might do all tripod, all stabilizers. So everything has a specific look, everything has a specific tone, a specific style. So I'm really excited for when we finish Augment. We traveled a lot for it. Do you want to talk about some of the locations we've been to? You weren't there when we shot Shadow Valley. That only took us like 2 days. Augment, we've been filming, you know, every like couple of weekends, and those were in big locations that we hadn't done before.
We went to the sand dunes in California. It's pretty cool seeing like the actors go through that and like the environment that they were in. Then we went to California, like in California, like the city.
There and back.
There and back, yeah. We didn't even stay.
We didn't get a hotel or anything.
It was really cool.
Yeah,
I don't want to say too much. But
yeah, no, it's okay. It's okay. No, you can say a little bit about going to the sand dunes. The sand dunes was incredibly hot. We were in really, really kind of poor conditions at the sand dunes. We were, and then California, we shot at 2 different studio locations. But in the story they were the same location. We wanted to get specific rooms and specific visions for it. You're so scared to not talk about it and not say anything, but I want them to know how big visually it is. Ruben, you've seen the clips, you've seen the color grades, the locations again that we've been at again compared to Shadow Valley. How would you describe this? I can't hear you. Are you up?
Am I muted? Oh, I'm muted.
Yeah, you're muted. Go one more time for me.
I was just saying, or I'll cut it, but introduce it again. No.
What did I say?
How was Shadow Valley? Like,
yeah.
Ruben, how is...
Ruben, I really want to get your take on both of these projects, Shadow Valley and Augment, the difference that you've seen in both of them, and what can people expect from Augment. Don't be too. I know we don't want to give so much away, but don't be afraid to talk a little bit about it. I want them to know something. Come on, give them some secrets. Come on, you can drop a secret. Come on, man.
We'll see. Well, yeah.
I'm the director. I'm allowing you, man. The studio head is letting you, man. Do it.
Compared to Shadow, for starters, Shadow Valley, it's a whole different. This project compared to Shadow Valley is a whole different vibe. The way it was shot, I feel like it is completely different. The lenses. I talk about the equipment. Yeah.
too excited.
Like Isaac was saying, the way he shot it, he rented out equipment. This is the first short he used the red cameras as opposed to the other one he used.
That's right. Yeah.
Panasonic
S1H,
which is a good camera. Shoots at 6K. Great camera, but the red cameras add a certain film style. I don't know what it is. It's just I don't know if it's the color or the way the sensor works, but it's just beautiful. One word I would describe Augment is just epic. The locations you picked specifically, like the sand dunes. I don't want to talk about the other locations as much, but just the way everything gets put together, in with the script and. Me too. I'm not trying to reveal much.
You just make a big world.
But the way the world is connected in this project is just so well done, and I'm so happy to see it. Behind the scenes, how it's being edited, how it's being done in visually. I'm excited to see how it turns out because we're in the thick of it right now. But I'm excited how the final product comes out, how we reveal it, how we
It's going to be it's going to be big, yeah.
It's gonna be big.
We haven't tapped into the score yet.
No, and we have big plans for that.
We have big plans. We've already talked about it. We know what we're gonna do. We have absolutely everything figured out for which we didn't with Shadow Valley. Shadow Valley was tailored, as we went along. This one, first, the vision was there from the beginning, and we did it. We got it.
Yeah.
Abby, are you excited for Augment?
For Augment, yeah. I think just the story is really cool and how it how he just added on to it without making it too much. But yeah, the story between the characters and how you see him evolve too. I mean, as where he's going and his past.
What do you think about the actor that we got?
He was really cool.
Brett.
He was so good. He was like in it the whole time. Like you told him to do something and he did it.
Yeah.
And he was like all for it with your vision, and
the performances from what I've seen are pretty great, especially for Brett. But also, you know, the other stuff, which I don't want to get into or reveal. You know, who's in it, but yeah, they all did their part. They all understood what they had to do, and they knocked it out of the park. So I think this one, with everything put together, I think it's gonna blow Shadow Valley out of the water. It's not even in the same league. And this is just the beginning of what Isaac's doing, and you know, just wait until the other stuff.
Yeah, God.
I'm not even gonna say anything, but just if you think this is good, just wait till the other stuff.
They're not lying. You know, I'm gonna say this, man. Augment's already pushing past 50 minutes. You know, we don't know an exact runtime yet. I'm not confirming a runtime yet. But again, Shadow Valley was 30. Augment is looking at about 50 minutes. So you can only imagine, wow. you know, with how big, and I went out for Augment. I really want it to get all of its credit and that it deserves. It's going to be, we're going to be releasing the teaser really soon. And then we're going to release a trailer, same fashion that we did before. And the trailer will come out, you know, pretty soon to its release date. So you won't have to wait too long. It's definitely going to come out before the year ends. We may be doing a screening. We've been talking about renting out a screen at Harkins. Because it's just worth it at that point. If it's this big, you know, it's not, you know, a 20-minute thing that you could just, you know, watch on your phone. It's huge. It kind of needs to be seen on a screen, and I think that the actors deserve that. The actors really deserve that, because you know they put a lot into it. You know, all of my casts, from all of my projects, my casts, they trust me. They trust me all the way, and that's a lot to ask for, but it's I'm so grateful for it. Right now I'm working on a script for a new project that may have a little bit to do with, you know, hauntings and hotels, and, you know, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Might be shot in black and white, might be shot all in handheld, you know. Stay tuned and you will be caught up with everything that it is that we got going on. We got a lot coming up. We're going to have a new guest on with every episode that we do. We're going to do breakdowns of videos and projects that we do on the side, music videos, promos, other short films, scene breakdowns. You know, we'll get more into it right here on the Camgoat Show. Thank you to everybody for tuning in and for listening. And we're going to be really excited going forward with you. Anybody else? Any final thoughts? Any closing statements?
Yeah, man, I'm excited. I'm glad how this episode went really well. A little long, but I think we're going to, you know, the next one we're going to trim it up a bit. But,
absolutely.
You know, yeah, man, I'm excited for the future. I'm excited for these projects. Abby, you want to add anything on to that?
Yeah, I mean, just like, just coming in and seeing like how you guys do everything, and it's really cool just to see where like you have been and where you're going, and also just like talking about everything that's going on and in the world of movies and TV and everything. So it's just cool to be in the loop.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening, everybody. I've been your host, Isaac Joel. We'll see you next time.